Hi, we're going to look at Federalist number 30. Hamilton brings up the subject of taxation. And these Federalists, the next few, are going to be talking about how one gets revenue for government. Revenue goes into the Treasury and the government spends it to better protect you, to better defend you, so that you can go about making the best out of your life, prospering, and not only you will be on your way to success and happiness, but everybody else in society will be too. So the subject of taxation and revenue is very important. Just remember that Americans revolted because of taxation. Remember, no taxation without representation. They told the British, well, if you're going to tax us, we have to have representatives in the parliament. And the British said, no, you don't really need representatives in the parliament. We will virtually represent you. And that led to one thing, to another, and finally America declared its independence. So the issue of taxation was very important. So in the Articles of Confederation, in the first Constitution of the United States, as we've mentioned it before, the national government would ask for money from the states, would make requisitions, could not directly tax the individual citizens. But in this new Constitution, the national government, the federal government, gets the right to tax the individual citizens directly, not through the state, because remember, the states always fell short of their promises. They always promised and they never came through. And they would either send the money late or they would send half of it. So this became a bad example. This became actually a precedent that the new constitution makers did not want to happen again. They had seen how tying the hands of national government will damage and hurt everybody. Everybody in the states. Because if the national government doesn't have money to build roads, to build canals, to have an army and navy to protect the country from invasion, and to do many other things, then it cannot do its job. It's good for nothing. So Hamilton says now we have to talk about taxation and why Americans, you should not worry about getting taxed directly. The national government, the federal government, is not going to be abusive. It's going to be reasonable. And one of the things they do in this new Constitution is taxing the imports, and that money going directly to the Treasury. And we will read this, and you will see what his argument is. And just remember, please, you need to have the text next to you when you listen to me read this, especially if it's your first time. So in the next video, in part 2, we'll start reading the text of Federalist number 30.